Hello, everybody, and welcome to the program. I am your host, Fat Man.
And I'm Little Boy.
And this is our weekly Netcast podcast for the last week of April.
No, we got one more week.
No, it's not the last week.
We got one more week. You always screw this up.
What are we today? The 23rd?
Today's the 23rd.
Oh, geez, okay, never mind. For the third and a half week of April.
We got one more week.
Yeah, we got one more week. Of April 2012. Gosh, I tell you what. You know what? We should just stop doing that because these 5 weeks and 4 weeks things kill me every time. Anyway.
We're going to say for the next week.
This is the broadcast for April 23rd.
April 23rd, 2012.
2012.
We can do that. Anyway, like I said, I'm your host, Fat Man. We have a great show for you today. And, of course, as I start out every week, I ask, Little Boy, how was your week?
Well, first of all, let's start out by anybody who wants to call in. Make sure you call in 619-387-3457 if you have something you want to talk about, or if you hear us say something, or if you hear the Fat Man say something ridiculous.
Ah, please.
Which is probably going to happen.
Give that number again a little bit slower.
Yeah.
619-387-3457. Call in. You'll call right into the show. We don't have a screener. We don't. Well, I was going to say we don't believe in screeners, but we just don't have a screener.
We don't have a screener.
Not
we do believe in screeners. We just don't have one.
Okay, so now go ahead.
Now, well, I was going to say, Little Boy, how's your week? But I do have to apologize for one thing, and that is the fact that we have a teleprompter below our camera, which most studios have. And a lot of us can glance at it and glance back because it's not a projection type one where it's in front of the lens. And Little Boy cannot.
I am really, really working on looking at the camera. I've been doing a good job so far. I'm looking at the camera right now.
You are.
I've been doing it.
We had a
so
few
far.
comments last week about it, just making fun, but it's all in jest.
Right.
And don't pick on my little friend. But anyway,
the problem is the teleprompter is below and to the left, and so my eyes just roam to it, and I try so hard to look at the camera.
Also, we have a producer in the studio today, and that's producer Jen. Say hello, Jen. Or don't.
Hello, everybody.
And she is in a little cubicle off to our left. So another problem is we can't really see her. We know she's in there, kind of see the top of her hat. But the other problem is when she starts to talk, we look over towards the cubicle, even though we hear her in our ears.
Yeah, we can see her pink hat.
This show is becoming a lot less formal, I guess.
Yeah,
even
it's
though
more fun this way.
It is more fun, even though I like to move it towards.
I am trying to look at the camera more often. So if you see me not looking at the camera, call in and tell me to look at the camera.
I have a couple shout-outs today. I talked to Ray earlier today. Ray, thank you again for my Reagan Library diary, and also good luck on your project. He's looking at changing around some of his his internet and telephone. So good luck on that. Little Boy, I want to ask you about it. How was your week? I do know you have some exciting stuff to talk about.
Yes. First of all, the week's been good. Not a whole lot. We had some dance stuff with the kids and spent some family time. But we as a family made a decision. We are free from cable. We completely dumped our cable. I got tired of paying that humongous bill that seemed to go up every single month. And we dumped cable and phone. We do not have it anymore. We are internet only.
So you are cord cutters.
We are officially cord cutters.
You know, I tried cord cutting for about a year. And I probably could have stuck with it, but man, I just love my TV. And the research I do for this, I couldn't get, Fox News and stuff, I couldn't get it. But I do believe, since just like our program comes over the internet, that TV is a thing of the past, and internet TV is coming up. And we're in the infancy stage of it, but I think it is going to be what you need.
I'm sure he's not watching. I wish he was. I wish my brother was watching. If you are, call in. He had some interesting stuff to tell me about this. A few months ago, he was talking about where he sees the future and how the cable companies are kind of they're a little bit behind the ball. They want you to buy their internet from you, and they want to give you as fast service as possible, but at the same time they don't want to use that to stream,
right.
But that's what we actually we did get a Netflix subscription. We've talked about Netflix in the past.
I like
and
Netflix.
I actually read a big article on there about how they think Netflix has leveled off on their subscribers. They don't think they're really gaining anymore. And the whole thing, we got the $16 plan where we can stream movies and get them shipped to us. So we'll see how that works. I just got so tired. It was a lot of money, and I'm a TV junkie. I watch TV a lot when I'm home, but it's just so expensive, you know.
Well, I got something interesting to add to what you just said, because I just heard something on the radio this past week about babies that are being born this year, things that will not be in their life because they predict that they will be gone over the next 15 to 20 years so that they will never experience. One is a landline. You don't have a landline anymore.
We cut our landline, too. We
haven't had one in 2 years,
I don't have a landline
I
in my
think
house.
It is. The other thing that I thought was really interesting is not just the cable. They are predicting that in the next 15 to 20 years, we will not have movie theaters anymore because of things like Netflix. And that was the one I thought was super, super interesting, because instead of people paying $12 to go see a movie or $15 because it's in 3D, they're waiting till it comes out on Netflix or they watch it online.
Well, you know what's very interesting?
I hate that because I do like the movie theaters.
Me too. I was very disappointed.
Experience. You know what's funny about that? I just talked to a young man who got a job at a movie theater, and he works. Where do you start? You work in the concessions. You're selling popcorn. You're selling $9 things of popcorn. And I was asking him, I said, how many people are complaining to you about the price, you know? And he goes, at the time I spoke to him, he'd only worked 1 day. And he said, oh, yeah, that's happening a lot already. And I said, you know, the funny thing is, the person complaining, you know, they act like you're the one who sets the price. You know, you're just the guy who sells it. But the movie theaters have to charge that much because the studios charge them so much money for the actual movie. And everybody's complaining about the prices going up and stuff, and they're mad at the theaters. The theaters don't make any money on the movie tickets.
No.
They make their money on the, you know, and to pay for that gigantic building and that gigantic screen and the air conditioning and all that, they have to sell $9 popcorn that costs them 13 cents because that's the only way they're going to make money, you know, and maybe things will change eventually. Maybe it's going to have to start with the movie industry maybe dropping their
prices. It's going to have to start with the actors dropping their expense.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, these actors that make $2 or $3 million for 7
that's
weeks
a cheap actor.
$30 million.
Yeah, that's a cheap actor, $2 or $3 million.
That's crazy. When a movie brings in $150 million and you're paying the main actor a third of that, I mean, what the heck?
Right. But you look at everything.
The other thing it made me think of when they were talking about the fact that we may not have the movie theaters is I know that we have gone to the new ones that have the you sit in a recliner, you're in a big leather seat, you have waiters that come to that thing. It is awesome.
They're great.
And it's about $5 more than going to the movies, and I think it's so worth it. And I think that's one way that they would possibly be able to combat losing the movie theater, because then it really is an experience.
Make an experience. Yeah, you're right. Instead of trying to herd us all in first of all, when was the last time you went to a theater where it was completely packed?
Oh,
you know, so
Titanic?
maybe
15 years ago.
My wife and the kids went and saw Hunger Games, and they said it was packed, you know, the first night. You know,
but they probably went the first night.
Yeah, you will have that, but if they maybe try and change it and almost turn it into like a dinner theater thing, you know what I mean? The industry is going to change. I think you're right on that, producer Jen. I don't think they're going to go away. I think it's going to not be the same as what we experience now, though.
But I think we go back to your cord cutting. You know, it's funny. Even in the studio here, and we have a lot of equipment here in the studio, we do not have a landline.
Yeah.
All of our telephone is through internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So voice
and
over IP.
Of course, cell phone. You know, that's how I check my Twitter at LBHost. By the way, if you want to tweet me during the show.
That was the other thing they said is the regular computers. It's all going to go to the handheld like you have or the iPad type of thing.
Right.
But you know, now I think that'll happen for most consumers, but for us, we would not be able to produce our show without having the big
you'll still
computers. They're talking about regular consumers.
Yeah.
But you look at now, most people have already moved to laptops. Not very many people have a desktop computer unless they're doing something. You have one, you know, there's one here to produce the shows and stuff like that. But, you know, most people are going to laptops. I don't have a desktop. Well,
we actually started this whole network on a laptop.
On a laptop.
The laptops that were right in front of us.
That's
so
right.
we were actually producing the show.
That's right.
Right in front of us.
We did a remote show via laptop.
That's true. Yeah. So that's but let's get into our show. We have a lot to talk about today. Excuse me. Today came out that Romney, obviously we know that he's going to, 99.999% have.
I know how
nominee.
you were you so badly want to just not say it, just say it. He's going to be the nomination.
Yeah, but if I'm wrong, what happens if I'm wrong? Then I got to.
You're wrong all the time anyway.
Anyway, today he's been meeting a lot with Marco Rubio. We had talked about that before. He's the junior senator for Florida. They are not talking about it. They are not saying what's going to happen. I am now predicting that he's going to be the vice president unless they find
somebody else.
No. Unless something comes out, because he's being vetted right now. With as much time that they're spending together, although, I can see why he's in Florida. You have to shore up Florida. We talked about that before. I do believe he's going to be the vice presidential nominee.
Now, how long before the Republican convention will they want to announce?
He'll probably announce within a week or two after he's nominated.
He wants to have... Oh, really? I thought he wants to have him at the convention.
Well, he'll probably be at the convention. He'll have others at the convention. I mean, they could announce right at the convention.
Right, but they won't announce before,
that's no. Because that would be really... Again, he knows he's going to win the nomination, but he hasn't got the votes.
Right.
So we're going all the way into the convention, and then that's when they'll put the nominee. So I don't know. He won't do it the day before, and because that's just like presumptuous. Oh yeah, I'm going to win no matter what.
Right. I understand how he can't do that.
But okay. I would say it'd be great to have him at. Well, whoever the vice presidential nominee is going to be, will be there. They will be, and they'll all speak.
Now my question is, will he announce? If he gets the nomination, he'll get the nomination at the convention.
Yeah.
Will he announce his vice president then, you think?
The day
Or do you think he'll announce who... Well, he won't do it before. Do you think he'll announce it there? Or do you think he'll wait?
I think it would be great if he did. I mean, because that's what you want to do. You want to have the most time as possible. I don't think so.
Okay.
You know why I don't think
so?
When
I keep asking you these questions, I don't want to know what you want to happen.
Yeah,
I want to know what
you
think will happen. You keep doing that.
If he did... What would that make him look like? That, well, he knew he was going to win the whole time and had already, would that make him pompous? Because one of the problems he has is he has a disconnect with a lot of Republicans because he's so elitist. So would that make him, like, even more, I knew I was going to win and this guy is going to work with me,
Right.
So
it'll be interesting.
It would be. I know the polls are still trending in his favor. Of course, that changes week to week. This week it didn't change, but let's wait until we get a little bit further along.
Yeah.
I know there's an article, and we're going to move off of this because we went on the vice president's last week.
Too long, I thought. But
for you, but it was actually a very high-rated show. So
I do have a question. When do they normally announce? Because I know it's not.
Well,
I know it's not at the convention.
Normally, everybody else drops out by now. The convention, and they have enough votes that they're already there. They already got the nomination,
right.
and at the let's put
because
it with
wasn't Sarah Palin there?
Yeah, but
she was.
He already knew. McCain already knew that he won.
Right.
So right now, even though we all know it's going to be Governor Romney, he has not won. He has not.
Gingrich won't pull out.
Ron
Ron Paul won't. He won't play.
It doesn't matter anyway.
But he still won't.
No, but even if he didn't, you know what I'm saying? If Mitt Romney had enough votes, it would be over. And with McCain, it was over. And so they had their nominee or their running mate with them there. The problem is here, he just didn't get enough votes. And so that's where we're at. Now, I do think there's going to be a third-party candidate this year. I don't know that it's going to be Ron Paul. His supporters really started to dry up, but who knows? Maybe it would be.
I don't know if his supporters are drying up. You just aren't hearing as much from them. But Ron Paul's supporters are crazy for Ron Paul.
I know they are, but what I mean by that is he has to have financial backing.
Yeah.
And his supporters for financial backing
have started
to drop.
Interesting article on that. That's why Santorum did not drop out.
He ran out of money.
But he did not drop out.
No, because if somebody all of a sudden came with him, behind him with $1 bazillion, he'd be right back in.
Well, because he put his campaign on hold.
Yeah. Well, actually, so did Herman Cain.
Right, and so did Herman Cain. And the reason why they do that is because they can still keep raising money that way. If you drop out, they said, who was it last year? Last one. They said Hillary Clinton never dropped out of the race. She still officially hasn't. Well, it's just a suspended campaign.
Well, and if you think about it...
You remember when I was looking up the information last week about the vice presidents and those that didn't get renominated or whatever, a couple people before the nomination, and I know it was a long time ago, but some of these guys are a little bit older and people drop dead all the time. If they don't shut down, say something happens, and, you know, all of a sudden Romney can't run anymore.
Right.
Santorum hasn't officially dropped out. And he could pick himself back up.
They want to technically.
But actually, it is money.
Yeah, that's why they're doing this for money.
And the reason why you want to continue to do that is you want to continue to fundraise just in case something does happen. And you remember, excuse me, these are senators, these are congressmen, these are people who actually have to run for their own seat anyway.
Right.
Now, Santorum, you know, that's one thing. He isn't anyway, but actually none of them are. But if it was, like, say it was Governor Perry. Now, he's governor. He also has a gubernatorial, whatever, election that he's got to win to continue to be governor. So basically, you want to keep your funding going. You want to keep going. Now, so will he announce? I don't think he'll announce until either he gets the nomination, and then I would think it would be a week or two afterwards.
Okay.
It would be good to do it at the beginning there, but I don't think he can.
All right, let's move on. Which one do you want to go to?
Let's go into the gallon of gas, dollar per gallon of gas. Go ahead and talk about it.
All right, we I don't have the article in front of me anymore. I read the article. Basically, what happened was something malfunctioned at a gas station, and it changed gas to $1 a gallon. And this happened, you know how like the gas station will close, but you can still go and you can still use your card and use it. And that's when it happened. And people lined up around the block buying $1 a gallon gas. And they basically ended up running the gas station out of gas. And one guy, I think, filled up 4 cars, I think it said.
Didn't we figure out the amount of gallons that was underground, too? Wasn't it 8,000 or something like that?
We grabbed the calculators. The problem is we couldn't get the information, and different gas stations have different amounts. We were trying to figure out how much money that this gas station lost. And the thing of it is, the funny thing is, everybody's upset about the price of gas, okay?
Sure.
These people were like, you know, they were interviewing some of them, and they're like, oh, this is my chance to stick it to them and stuff. But let me ask you this. Who were they sticking it to?
They're sticking to that poor gas station owner.
Exactly.
That poor gas station owner.
You know, they don't actually make that much money on the gas they sell.
Right.
Just like the movie theater, they make it when you walk inside and buy a pack of gum. So,
but they're not sticking it to the oil company.
No, not at all.
That guy, for every gallon of gas that you bought for $1, he still has to pay the going rate. And gas stations work a little differently. You know, like a store buys a candy bar for 50 cents and sells it for 75 cents. The gas stations don't pay. They pay for their gas as they sell it. They pay for whatever the rate is. They don't buy it at a certain rate and then sell it. That's not how it works. As it's sold, they pay what the going rate is. And this guy got, you know, this gas station owner got screwed.
Yeah,
unless it was corporate owned, then, you know, but if it was personal owned, I think it was personally owned.
Well, we figured it was personally owned.
This guy got screwed.
And there's a manager who's, I'm sure, going to lose his job. No, we figured it out just doing averages. Didn't we come up to about $300,000 what he lost?
Yeah.
Wow, that could put somebody out of business.
Sure it could.
He's going to have to, he'll probably do an insurance claim or something, you know. But
is there a way to do that?
Here's the question. Were they stealing?
Absolutely they were stealing, without a doubt.
Here's the thing. I think it was completely wrong.
Actually,
but I don't think
that's
what I'm asking you.
Yeah.
I don't think they were actually stealing.
You know, that's true, because it's not like they broke into it and started pumping from the gas station.
Right. If you go to Walmart and Walmart has a picture frame that usually sells for $10 and somebody's tagged it for $2 and you buy it for $2 and they say, oh my God, that was a mistake, they sell it to you for $2 because they have to.
Yeah, because it's marked.
You didn't steal that.
Yeah, you know, that's funny. Is it a moral? So what you're saying, is it morally wrong or is it wrong?
Well, let's first of all decide legally. Legally,
no, they were not stealing. They were not stealing. Legally, they were not. Morally, but you know what, Ben? You know what though?
Would you fill your tank?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think I would have.
Really?
I don't think I would have.
Well,
I really thought
drive
about
a huge
it a lot.
boat.
Well, I'll tell you a couple reasons why I wouldn't have. Number one, it seemed dirty to me to do that.
Dirty.
Like you're doing that to. Second thing, I'm not big on lines, and to me,
that would be a huge line.
I mean, okay, so it cost me $80 to fill up my tank, and so I would have been able to fill it for, let's say, $20. That's $60. You probably had to wait for hours in line. That $60 my time is worth money.
Yeah.
And I would not have wanted to.
Wouldn't that be nice? $60 for 2.5 hours.
It's just
you make that kind of money an hour. Well, Okay.
It just would have driven me crazy to have to wait in that line. So.
Would I do it? I mean, I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know.
It's tough to
say no when you say, well, possibly. The thing is, were they stealing legally? No.
No.
I mean, morally, they knew it was wrong. But they all try to justify, I'm sure. Like,
of course they do.
Well, maybe this is some special
First
promotion.
of all,
you know?
anytime anybody does something that's morally questionable or actually legally wrong, they always justify it. Everybody does. And I do the same thing, and so do you.
Yeah, of course.
You know, we just do.
So,
that's just the way we are.
I feel bad for the gas station owner.
Whoa, we got a call.
Hello, you're on the Fat Man and Little Boy show. Ooh, almost.
No, we're still working on it.
Hello, you're on the Fat Man and Little Boy show.
Yeah, there you are. How you doing?
Good.
Who's this?
Oh, this is Mark. Hold on, I got to put you on mute. Okay, there we go.
There we go. Did you hear us talking about the gas station, Mark?
Yeah, and you're talking about the ethics versus the legality of it.
Yes, exactly. Where are you standing on this?
Now I have a question for you.
Sure.
Okay, so you're waiting in the car for 2 hours in line to get the cheap gas.
Right.
Okay, and you're talking about whether it's legal or whether it's moral or whatnot. Okay, and one of you saying yes, you would do it, and one of you saying no, you wouldn't do it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's say you've got your 12-year-old daughter in the front seat of the car with you, and she starts asking you, is this moral or is this right? Do you get, or is this legal, and how are they making any money on the gas if it's only $1?
Right.
Do you stay in line in the car?
That's a
good gas, or do you not? Or how do you explain it to your 12-year-old daughter?
That is a wonderful
great question.
That's a wonderful question.
What you tell your daughter is, I'm cheap, and that's what we're doing.
See, I actually agree with you, Mark. I think I would have a tough time doing it anyways, even if I'm not waiting in the line getting past that. I have a real rough time. It's very easy for me to say now I wouldn't do it. I'm going to say I think that I would not do it. I can't say for sure. You got to be in the situation. We fight about stuff like that all the time. But that is a great question. I would have a very hard time looking my daughter in the eye if she asked me that.
Yeah, that would be a do what I say, not what I do kind of thing, and that's tough with kids.
What about you, Mark? What would you do?
I wouldn't do it.
You wouldn't do it?
Yeah. Well, without a doubt, no.
Oh, well, that's good.
That's good.
That's really good.
That's good. Unfortunately, in this particular area, there weren't a whole lot of people like that because there was a bunch of people, and they emptied this place out with gas.
Yeah.
Where are you? Where is it?
This was, we read the article a week ago. I don't have it.
I believe it was on the East Coast. We're on the West Coast. So it was on the East Coast.
We're in San Diego. We had just read the article, and we just thought it'd be an interesting thing to talk
Mark,
about.
Mark, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from New York, and that's, another thing is I'm in New York, and so in New York City, to get anywhere, in the city is $2.25 and $2.50 back because you're on the trains and it's the mass transit. If you're in California, I understand when I lived in California, to get where I was living in Northern California in Sonoma County, if I had to get to San Francisco to work and to get home to Sonoma County, I was looking at $40 or $50 in gas every day.
Wow. Oh, sure.
Right off the top.
Yeah, we don't have mass transit like they do in
it doesn't work here the way it's not laid out like a grid here, and it just doesn't work.
No, we don't. And really, our transit system is so messed up. I was a transit officer, so I can tell you our system here in San Diego is ridiculously disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's that's a moral issue. I mean, legally, the people were not breaking the law, but morally, of course you are. You're stealing, and I think they all knew they were stealing. And you're right. How do you talk to your daughter?
That is a wonderful way to look at that.
Not a single person in the line, called, a police officer.
Right.
Say, listen, they're selling gas for $1. Something's wrong with this situation.
Right.
An officer, that would be my first. If I walked into, a Brooks Brothers, and they were giving out suits for $10, and I knew that they were $5,000 suits. And I saw, people in line for, 3 hours. The first thing that I would do, in New York City, there would be cops there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a more rural area that it happened in.
There would be law enforcement saying, what's going on here?
Yeah, that's
I'm
not
so
right.
surprised that there was no law enforcement like right there.
Right.
We used to have a store out here called CompUSA, and one time I went in to buy.
Right.
Yeah, they used to sell computers. I went in to buy a case of jewel cases for DVDs, or actually at the time it was CDs, and it was like just a big square box. And it was heavy, but I thought, wow, why is this thing so heavy? I don't know why it's heavy, but whatever. I went and paid for it. And then I went out to my car and opened it up. When I opened it up, there was a hard drive in there, a big, huge hard drive. And at the time, hard drives were really expensive. And this was like it wasn't terabytes yet. It was still under that. Right. And I said, wait a minute, this isn't right. So I went back into the store and I said, hey, this is what came out of this box. But I really need the jewel cases, And the lady said, oh, my gosh, we have people do this all the time. They take a product out of one box, slip it into another box, they can use the barcode.
I know.
And she said, I'm glad you took it back because this thing is like $400.
Yeah.
So
and people justify it, say, oh, this company screws us all the time.
But they don't. Look what happened to the company and all the people that work for them.
I got a little bit of information on the gas for you because you guys were wondering where it was.
Sure.
I looked up the link. It was in Texas.
Oh, Texas.
And it was actually, it wasn't
overnight, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't a person that did it. It was actually a computer glitch, and it was for a Conoco station. So hopefully it was a corporate-owned station, not a...
Well, either way, you don't want the companies to lose the money.
Yeah.
Well, they, if
this relates to another sort of issue, that you guys are talking about in the movie theater, and that relates to the person who's actually swiping the credit cards, and the person who's in the station, and the person who's handing out the popcorn. This person that's there is not a corporate executive. It's not the person that's bringing home the multi-million-dollar bonus at the end of the year. It's not the person who's producing the film. It's not the Chevron, the BP exec, who's got, the huge fortune on the line. You're talking about the person who's making minimum wage, or maybe even if we're talking triple minimum wage, it's still not a fortune.
Right.
To them it doesn't matter. If there's a computer glitch, they've reported it to their supervisor. They've noted it on the thing. They're just running credit cards and holding down their job.
Right.
Right.
Right. I agree.
To them, what is it off their ass?
Yeah. I agree. I agree completely.
Well, let's roll it. Hey, Mark, thank you very much for the call.
I appreciate
really
the call,
appreciate you calling in.
Great job, guys.
All right,
thanks a lot, Mark.
Thank you. Well, let's roll into our next subject. And again, Mark, thanks for calling in.
Yeah, that was great.
What's our next?
He brought, I really like what the question he brought onto that about the kid.
You know what? That's something neither one of us even thought about.
We hadn't thought about that.
And you both have children.
And we both have daughters.
Hey, producer Jenna, what's our time right now? Because I can't see the time.
We're at 25 minutes.
Okay.
One more.
Let's roll through. Next one.
Okay.
Are we going on to the UCLA?
Yeah, let's go down to UCLA. This is a funny story.
It's actually a couple weeks old, too, but it was interesting.
It is. UCLA sent out, and this hits home, that's why I want to talk about this, sent out admission acceptance letters to all of their, the people who put in, so if you put in, you apply all of their applicants. It was a mistake.
People that were supposed to be on the wait list.
Yeah, so if you're on the wait list for UCLA, you got an acceptance letter. Of course, then, when they found the error, they just sent them letters. Oh, no, we're wrong.
Right.
Now, the reason why this hits home for us is we have a daughter who's going into college, and we are, anxiously awaiting an acceptance letter from all the letters that we keep getting. Anyway.
Well, and make sure you note it was 900 high school seniors that got this letter.
Right.
It wasn't just a few.
Right.
Wow, so 900.
900.
Thank you.
My question to you, little boy, is one, instead of. Well, first off, what can they do? I mean, it's total egg on your face. Well, what can you do other than just turn around and say, well, we were wrong? You know what I mean?
Because they don't have room for 900 students, because if they did, they would have them there.
But here's my question to you again. And this goes back to, and Mark, if you're still watching, this goes back to a liability issue. What if, I don't know exactly how it works because I'm still waiting for that acceptance letter from my kid.
I know how it works.
What if, hold on a second, what if they turn around, they get an acceptance to UCLA, and they turn around and tell other schools, I don't need yours, send it to the next person because I'm now in UCLA. And then all of a sudden it turns out that they lost. You know what I mean?
And it does mean that they lost.
Yeah, so who is liable? Is UCLA now liable because they gave them false information?
Right.
Are they liable for this person's education? Are they financially liable if they turn down scholarship?
Since this is California, I guarantee there will be a class action suit from those 900 students because it does work that way. What happens is, say one of these kids was offered was accepted to say let's say Boston University, and but their first choice was UCLA, and they really wanted to go to UCLA, so they get an acceptance letter from UCLA. They have to, at some point, they have to make a decision. So if they've made that decision and they've called Boston University and said, hey, thanks, I don't want it anymore, Boston now has another position open that they can offer to someone else, and if they've made that offer and given it out, that kid's position at Boston is now gone.
So what happens now? Yeah. So who pays for it?
I mean, when you think about it, let's move this to like if you make a reservation at a hotel and you go there and they don't have any rooms for you, they put you up in another hotel.
Not always, because they don't understand exactly what reservation is.
They know how to take their
reservation. They know how to take it. They just know how to hold it.
No, but they do. They'll put you up in another hotel. But this is a little bit more than a night stay in a hotel. This
could be tens of thousands of dollars.
Right.
So my question to you, and this is a school that is state.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got a broke state. What happens?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I thought about this a lot after I read it. I said, they don't have room for 900 kids. They certainly can't pay to send them somewhere else, although it wasn't a money issue. It was whether you're in or out. But they don't have any pull and say, well, I can get you into this school because maybe the kid doesn't even want to go anyways.
Well, I can get you into the local Grossmont.
Right.
So what? Community college.
What do they do?
Well, I don't know what to do.
I think this is one of those situations that's just a crappy situation.
I wish we had time to call Dave. Dave is our attorney. He would know.
Well, maybe we could table it and you could talk to him this
let's table it and let's talk to him because and we'll put him on the spot. We're going to tell him we're calling him,
Yeah.
And then
we'll ask him legally what the deal is.
What would happen? What is it?
Good idea.
You know what, little boy, though, I do want to, unless you have something else to add.
Well, we have all sorts of stuff.
I know, but I wanted to end this. Well, let's do the Pizza Hut thing.
We got it.
Because we always do a little food section because I am the fat man. I love to eat.
I love to eat as well.
I love. You know what's really funny is, for years, you could not get me to eat Pizza Hut. And within the last year, Pizza Hut has completely changed. I'm liking their pizza. Now, just like when Mark was from New York, my family's from Brooklyn.
Pizza Hut pizza is nowhere like New York pizza.
Not even close. But there is a couple of places out here there's Felipe's Pizza, and they're really the best pizza in California.
That's not really New York style pizza.
It's not. It's thick. It's not thin. But anyway, it's still good. The ingredients are good. But anyway,
the funny thing is, I thought that they were out of stuff that they could stuff into a crust.
Because they have done everything. So now with Pizza Hut, let me lead into this.
Yes.
You can get everything you could imagine on a pizza. We're not just talking, ham, which is, for me, ham and pineapple are the absolute craziest thing you could possibly put on pizza. But in California, they throw barbecue chicken, barbecued shrimp, avocado. They throw everything that should never be close to a pizza
salmon,
on a pizza.
Pear and arugula.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, yeah, arugula.
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's what they do. Pizza Hut in the UK has decided to stuff the crust with
hot dogs.
What?
Hot dogs.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
My first reaction, delicious. That sounded so good to me because all I could think of is you have the pizza with like a bagel dog around the outside.
Oh, bagel dog. Yeah.
See, that's the way I looked at it. I love pizza. I love hot dogs. I love crust. I love all that stuff. I don't eat pizza as often as I used to, but I love pizza. I would order this in a second.
Not me.
Oh, man, it sounds delicious.
And I talk up Pizza Hut lately because I'm like,
and I hate Pizza Hut, by the way. I think Pizza Hut's the worst pizza.
Well, actually, no. Have you had it lately? The square pizza?
Yes.
And, and I'm like,
terrible.
Hey, this isn't too bad of pizza.
Terrible.
Well, yeah, but you eat Little Caesars pizza, which is disgusting.
It's cheap.
Yeah, I don't eat it because I like it. I eat it because it's cheap.
Anyway,
and I don't eat it that often either.
I wanted to end it on that because the world has gotten so bad that now we have hot dogs in pizza.
Yes.
Okay, so is this like a full pizza with all the toppings and everything? Okay,
and then like
hot dog in the crust.
A hot dog around the crust. And let me tell you something. Pizza Hut, bring it. bring it to the U.S. I'll order at least once.
It's in the U.K.
Yeah, bring it to the U.S. is what I said.
This show was sponsored today by goldandsilver.com. We want to
right.
thank the people at goldandsilver.com. You can go to our website, fatmanandlittleboy.com. That's spelled with a P, P-H-A-T.
Yep.
fatmanandlittleboy.com, and you can click on Gold and Silver link on there. You can learn about your investing in gold and silver. They have other types of investments that they suggest as well. In this economy, which we're pretty, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And as I always throw in that he hates so much, you got a president who likes to print paper. Maybe you should invest in something solid like gold and silver. We want to thank them for their support, and thank you for clicking on the ads and taking a look and see what it's all about.
All right.
You can always get me at fatmanandlittleboy.com, or you can get me on Twitter at fatmanshow.
I'm at littleboy at fatmanandlittleboy.com, or you can reach me on Twitter at lbhost. You can always call into the show, 619-387-3457. We stream live every Monday, 6 o'clock, and we actually went on about a half hour early. We try and go on early. We got a phone call early from DB and before the show started. And then, Mark, we really appreciate the phone call. We like what you added to the show, and we encourage anybody else to call in and, tell us we're wrong, tell us we're right, or tell us your thoughts. We love to hear it.
You can also call at any time. Call that number for anything. If you want to, not just when the show is on.
Right.
If you want to call to suggest a topic you want these two to talk about, or
true,
anything else, call during the week.
Yeah. Also, you can catch Little Boy on his show, The Roundtable, and Padrecast.
Yes.
Here in San Diego. The Roundtable airs every Wednesday at 6 o'clock or 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
And that's a sports talk show. That's just random sports stuff we talk about.
It's pretty good. And then, of course, you can get the Padrecast at Friday nights. So.
And we don't have an exact time for that one.
Yeah, that's why I said Friday nights. Little Boy, good show?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Good show. We didn't get into any fights.
No,
Next week, we got so much political stuff we're going to talk about next week.
Once the debates start, we're going to be going crazy. We're going to have to put a wall up right here.
All right, out there, thank you for watching, and we'll see you real soon.
Take care.